Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The colony was buzzing with excitement. Humans and aliens from across the galaxy had gathered in the Grand Hall, awaiting the annual mate pairing ceremony. Each human was assigned a companion from another species, a life partner chosen by an advanced algorithm designed to ensure compatibility, survival, and harmony. For most, the pairing was simple. Humans paired with gentle aliens, calm, obedient, and predictable. Yet for Kiran, the day had brought nothing but nervous anticipation. He had spent hours imagining who his mate could be. Surely, it would be like everyone else's, safe, familiar, a companion that wouldn't challenge him too much. The moment the pairing system began its announcement, a hush fell over the hall. "Human mates, please step forward." Kiran's heart raced as he walked to the stage. He scanned the room nervously. All around him, humans were meeting their companions. Soft green aliens with shimmering eyes, small winged creatures that chirped pleasantly, gentle beings who smiled politely. All normal, except for him. A robotic voice boomed across the hall. "Human Kiran Patel, your companion is Zyra, Princess of the Xalor Dominion." The crowd gasped. Whispers spread like wildfire. Heads turned. Kiran froze. Zyra stepped forward, and the entire room seemed to fall silent. She was nothing like the other aliens. Tall and imposing, Zyra had wild, fiery red hair that seemed to float as if weightless. Her eyes were sharp, golden, and predatory. Her movements were swift, precise, almost feline. Every inch of her radiated danger. She wore a ceremonial armor that glimmered with alien symbols, and the faint hum of energy surrounded her like a living aura. Kiran's mouth went dry. He had expected a normal, calm companion, maybe even someone gentle and quiet. But this was different. This was unpredictable, wild, dangerous. "Princess Zyra," the voice continued, "you are to accompany human Kiran Patel." Zyra's gaze fell on Kiran. She didn't smile. She didn't nod. She didn't even speak. It was a glance filled with curiosity and caution, but mostly indifference. Kiran swallowed hard. Hello." Zyra tilted her head, studying him like a scientist observing a specimen. A thin smirk appeared on her face. "I see the algorithm didn't lie," she said in a voice that was smooth, controlled, yet edged with a dangerous undertone. "You are ordinary." Kiran's friends whispered nervously, warning him. "Be careful, she's not like the others. People who try to control her don't last long." The ceremony ended quickly, and Kiran was left alone with Zyra in a small transport module bound for their assigned habby. Silence filled the air. Kiran tried to make conversation. "So, do you like human food?" he asked nervously. Zyra's lips curved into a small, mocking grin. "I survive. That is enough." The first signs of trouble appeared immediately. Zyra refused to follow the usual protocols. She moved freely, ignoring boundaries, stepping into dangerous zones without concern. Kiran panicked multiple times as she touched volatile equipment, her fingers gliding over controls that would have triggered alarms for anyone else. "Princess, please, don't," Kiran exclaimed, grabbing her arm, but she shrugged him off effortlessly. The entire habitat watched in astonishment. Even seasoned security officers were wary of her. Unlike normal mates, she wasn't calm or obedient. She was unpredictable, wild, untamed. Days passed, and Kiran realized that trying to control her was futile. Zyra laughed at his attempts to impose order. She explored, she fought, she challenged every rule, every procedure. And yet, she was brilliant. Her instincts, her reactions, were flawless. Dangerous, yes, but also awe-inspiring. One day, the colony announced a mission to test the compatibility of human-alien pairs. A reconnaissance journey to an asteroid field teeming with unknown threats. Kiran and Zyra were assigned together. Kiran's heart sank. "You're insane. This mission is dangerous." Zyra only smirked. "And yet, we survive. Or we die trying. Are you ready?" The journey to the asteroid belt was tense. The moment they left the safety of the colony, Zyra's skills became apparent. She piloted the ship through treacherous asteroid clusters with precision. Every maneuver was swift, every decision calculated. Kiran, a trained technician, struggled to keep up, but he learned quickly, driven by necessity. As they navigated the asteroid field, Kiran realized something about Zyra. She was more than a wild warrior. She was resourceful, intelligent, and strategic. Every action, no matter how reckless it seemed, had purpose. And yet, she remained unpredictable, sometimes playful, sometimes deadly serious. Hours into the mission, disaster struck. A sudden meteor shower struck their ship, tearing open a section of the hull. Alarms blared. Kiran was thrown across the cockpit, pinned under debris. Blood trickled down his forehead. Zyra's golden eyes blazed. She moved faster than he could comprehend, striking panels, repairing systems with precision. Her raw power smashed obstacles aside as if they were paper. She scooped Kiran from under the debris, her hands surprisingly gentle despite the chaos. "Hold on," she shouted, her voice a mixture of rage and concern. "I won't let them take you." Kiran stared at her in disbelief. For the first time, he saw vulnerability behind her wildness. There was loyalty, care, and maybe even something like trust. They barely escaped the asteroid field, crash-landing on a small, barren moon. The surface was rocky, with jagged cliffs and sparse oxygen. Kiran was still weak from the injuries, and Zyra helped him to shelter. She made no attempt to explain her past or her motives. Her silence was a shield, but her actions spoke louder than words. Night fell, and the alien moon glowed under twin suns. Kiran looked at Zyra, exhausted and humbled. "Why me?" he whispered. "Why did the system pair me with you?" Zyra's eyes softened for the first time. "The system sees what you do not. You are ordinary, yet resilient. You survive, and that makes you worthy. Perhaps that is enough for now." Kiran didn't understand completely, but he felt a strange comfort in her words. Wild, untamed, and dangerous as she was, Zyra had saved him. Not because the system commanded her, but because she chose to. The night brought uneasy rest. Kiran could feel her presence beside him, silent yet protective. The bond between them had begun, fragile, new, and uncertain. But the danger wasn't over. As he drifted into uneasy sleep, he heard it, the faint hum of alien predators approaching their shelter. Creatures not catalogued by the colony's systems, hunting instinctively. They would have to fight to survive, together. And that's when Kiran realized, pairing with a wild alien princess wasn't a curse. It was a chance to survive, to learn, to grow. But survival would demand everything they had. The screen of the narrative cuts to black with the sound of claws scraping against metal, a growl that vibrated the air, and Kiran whispering, "Zyra, what do we do now?" The alien predators circled their shelter, their low growls vibrating through the rocky ground. Kiran's heart pounded in his chest. Every instinct screamed that they were outmatched, outnumbered, and utterly vulnerable. He tried to focus on Zyra, whose golden eyes glowed in the moonlight, reflecting both fury and determination. She crouched slightly, ready to pounce, every muscle taut with tension. "Stay close to me," she hissed, her voice a harsh whisper, yet carrying authority. "Move slowly. Don't make sudden sounds." Kiran nodded, though fear threatened to paralyze him. He had spent hours studying alien behavior in textbooks, but nothing could prepare him for creatures that were both intelligent and vicious. Their shapes shifted in the shadows, sleek, multi-limbed hunters with eyes that glimmered like molten metal. Zyra moved first, silently stepping out into the open. The predators reacted instantly, their heads snapping toward her. With a roar that shook the rocks, she lunged, dodging a snapping claw and retaliating with a swing of her armored arm. Energy blades sparked as her weapon clashed against alien claws. Kiran froze for a moment, watching her skill and power in awe. Her movements were precise, yet wild, instinctual, untamed. He had never seen anyone fight like her. Then she shouted, "Kiran! Behind me!" He ducked just as a predator leapt toward him, its claws barely missing his shoulder. He scrambled, adrenaline driving him, and grabbed a piece of debris to defend himself. It was nothing compared to Zyra's weapon, but it gave him some leverage. They fought together for what felt like hours, each predator that approached meeting a wall of Zyra's raw skill and human ingenuity. Kiran realized something crucial: their pairing was not random. Their skills complemented each other. He covered blind spots, set traps, and followed her lead. She adapted to his tactics instinctively. Finally, the last predator fell. Kiran's chest heaved, and his arms shook from exhaustion. Zyra stood over him, breathing heavily, her eyes scanning the darkness for any remaining threats. She looked wild, untamed, and yet protective. "You survived," she said simply, her voice losing some of its sharpness. "I underestimated you." Thanks," Kiran managed to reply, though his throat was dry. "You were incredible." She smirked, brushing dirt from her armor. I told you, survive, or die trying. After the battle, they set up a temporary shelter. Kiran tended to his minor injuries, while Zyra inspected the perimeter. As the alien sun began to rise, casting pale light across the jagged terrain, Kiran finally had a moment to speak. Why are you really here? He asked softly. Not why the system paired us, but why did you choose to save me? Zyra's eyes flickered, and she looked away. I do not choose humans easily, she admitted. Many betray, many are weak. But you did not run. You did not panic completely. You adapted. That matters. That is why you survived. Kiran nodded, understanding that her wildness was more than instinct. It was shaped by experience, by betrayal, by survival. Zyra was dangerous because she had learned the galaxy's harsh truths. Days passed on the alien moon, and Kiran and Zyra slowly adapted to life together. They scavenged for food, repaired their ship, and explored the rugged landscape, learning each other's strengths and weaknesses. Kiran began to notice small quirks in Zyra, moments of humor she tried to hide, curiosity that broke through her hardened exterior. She tried, awkwardly, to imitate human gestures, sometimes failing hilariously. Once, she attempted a handshake but nearly crushed his hand instead. Another time, she tried to smile at a sunrise, but her expression was so intense it startled him. Despite the laughter, trust deepened. Zyra began to let Kiran handle small tasks, like navigating terrain or deciphering alien markings, and she respected his judgment. Kiran, in turn, stopped trying to control her, learning to predict her behavior and follow her lead. Their bond became subtle, unspoken, and resilient. One morning, while repairing the ship's energy core, Kiran noticed Zyra staring at him with a strange intensity. What? He asked, wiping grease from his hands. You have changed, she said. Not in strength, in thought. You anticipate, you adapt, you endure. You are more than ordinary. Kiran felt a flush of pride. I'm learning from the best, he said with a small smile. Zyra's lips twitched, almost a smile. Perhaps. But their respite was short-lived. The predators returned, this time in greater numbers. Kiran and Zyra had little time to prepare. They quickly fortified the ship and surrounding rocks, using traps Kiran devised and combat strategies Zyra taught him. The fight was brutal. The predators attacked in coordinated packs, moving faster and smarter than before. Kiran and Zyra fought with synchronicity, covering each other's blind spots, communicating without words. Zyra's raw power and Kiran's quick thinking created a deadly combination. At one point, a massive predator lunged directly at Kiran. Zyra's hand shot out, grabbing him mid-air and throwing him behind cover. She landed on the predator, driving her blade into its heart. Kiran watched, breathless, as she fought with ferocity and precision, yet without malice. Every strike was survival, every movement calculated to protect. Finally, silence fell. The predators lay defeated, and the moon was quiet once more. Kiran collapsed, exhausted, leaning against Zyra. You are incredible, he said, awed. Zyra shook her head, crouching beside him. No, we are incredible together. Alone, you would not survive. Alone, I would tire. The shared understanding between them was clear. They were a team, bonded not by algorithms or systems, but by survival, trust, and respect. As the twin suns of the alien moon began to rise again, Kiran finally dared to voice what had been building in his heart. I trust you, he said quietly. Completely. Zyra looked at him, and for the first time, her eyes softened fully. And I trust you, she replied. Do not fail me. There was no dramatic declaration of love, no grand gestures. Just mutual understanding, a quiet bond forged in fire and danger. Kiran realized that pairing with a wild alien princess had not been a curse. It had been a gift, a chance to grow, to survive, and to become more than he had ever imagined. The return journey to the colony was tense but uneventful. Kiran and Zyra worked together seamlessly, navigating through meteor storms and energy anomalies. Other humans watched in awe. Ears, the wild princess, and her human mate returned as heroes, their survival a testament to their courage and synergy. Back at the colony, the whispers continued. No one had ever seen a pairing like theirs, unpredictable, wild, and yet inseparable. Kiran finally understood the truth. While most humans had been given calm, ordinary companions, he had been given someone extraordinary. The final moment came quietly. As they stood on the balcony overlooking the colony, Zyra glanced at Kiran. You are still ordinary, she said teasingly, but you survive. That is enough. Kiran laughed softly, feeling a warmth he had never known. And you are still wild, he replied, but maybe you've been tamed a little too. Zyra smirked, her golden eyes glinting. Tamed? She asked mockingly. Perhaps. Or perhaps I have simply chosen to survive, with you. Kiran reached for her hand. She let him take it, her grip strong, unyielding, yet intimate. In that moment, the bond between them was undeniable. They had faced predators, danger, and the unknown. They had survived not because they were ordinary, but because they had learned to trust and rely on each other. And now, standing side by side, they knew one thing for certain. This was only the beginning of their adventures. Kiran smiled, looking out at the colony below, and then at Zyra. I guess, everyone else got a normal mate. But I got the best one I could ever hope for. Zyra's lips curved into a faint smile, almost human. And I got someone who can keep up with me. That is rare. As the suns rose higher, their silhouettes stood together, ready to face whatever the galaxy would throw at them next. Ordinary and wild, human and alien, they were now more than a pairing, they were a force. And for Kiran, the once ordinary human, life had become extraordinary.